Hi guys, welcome to Empower In. My name is Caroline Porter Thomas. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel, Empower In. So this is a video request that was requested by quite a few of you guys since I've had a lot of health, diet, and energy tips. A lot of you guys working night shift have asked for healthy night shift tips. So in this video, I'm going to share with you a bunch of those tips. Now, I worked night shift for about a year and a half. The first job that I was hired for was actually for rotating, which meant that I did 3 weeks of days and 3 weeks of nights. It was pretty hard on the body to rotate, but I think eventually if you want to go to day shift, that was definitely the easiest way for me to transition because there's definitely a huge difference in the shifts in general, and so that did help out. But here's some things that I did during that night shift that helped me, I think, stay pretty healthy. The first thing that I did was I found ways that I could get solid sleep, non-pharmacologically. Like, I really honestly could not take any medications, even natural medications, to help me sleep because I would just wake up feeling groggy and I would have a difficult time focusing. So for me, it was actually better for me to go without sleep than it was for me to take any kind of herbal or medications. So you might be different. You might have a medication that works for you. And if you do, and if you know something that does work for you, then why don't you post it below so that other people might be able to read it and benefit from it as well. But for me personally, I just could not take anything. I tried everything. I tried like Benadryl, I tried, what is it called, melatonin. But I tried a few different things and everything just kind of made me groggy and I didn't really feel like I slept that well anyways. But here are some things that I did to help ensure that I got good sleep. And that was, first of all, definitely wearing an eye mask helped out a lot because it blocked out quite a bit of the light. I also put dark blinders up on my windows. I had like these really dark blue sheets, and so I actually penned them up and they worked pretty well. So, you know, this was my first job, so I was like still broke from nursing school. So anyways, it worked. I'm really sensitive to sounds, and so I really had to block out any noise that was going on in the house. And so I got a fan, but I don't like any air blowing on me, so I would actually point the fan at the wall away from me, but it was just there for noise, kind of like that white noise. And then I also, in addition to all of that, I bought earplugs. These are the earplugs that I used, and I will put a link below, but they're called like Mighty Plugs or something like that. And they're kind of waxy, but you like put them in your ear, and honestly, they helped me sleep so soundly. And one really sweet thing that I liked about it was that when you're going to sleep, you can actually like hear the sound of your heart because it's actually like closing up your ear. And so I would sleep to the sound of my heartbeat. So it's kind of like comforting in a way, I guess. I don't know, it just felt good. But anyways, so I'll put a link below to those earplugs. They really help me out. I actually still use them, especially when I'm traveling. So because any sounds, I'm very, very, very sensitive to sounds. The next thing that I did was if I had a day where I didn't sleep well, I just kind of relaxed about it. And I got this tip from my mom. My mom is also a nurse and she has had 6 children. And so I'm sure she went through tons of sleepless nights. But one night I remember I was freaking out because I had to go to work and I literally could not sleep one wink. And she really calmed me down. She was like, Caroline, just don't worry about it. You'll sleep well tonight. And I thought about it and I was like, that's true. I'm gonna like get home and just fall on the bed and crash. And that's exactly what I did. But having that mentality, like, okay, so if you go through a day where you don't sleep well, just relax about it because that just means you're going to be in a much deeper sleep when you finally do get to sleep. So just relaxing about it is really just the best thing to do, you know, because I mean, you can't do anything about it now, you still have to go to work, so might as well relax. The other thing is like, make sure you're paying attention to diet and nutrition. Make sure you stay as healthy as possible while you are working night shift. I mean, basically just reverse your schedule. When you wake up at 5 p.m., consider it 5 a.m. for yourself and eat breakfast as you would, eat your snacks, pack your lunch. I know that I have a ton of videos already on this, so I will put links to all of those videos somewhere, so just look for those. So just make sure you're giving your body the nutrients that it needs despite what hour of the day it is. And just consider your hours kind of just switched. So, you know. So this next tip is, I really think it's the best tip ever. You have to find things that you're really passionate about. Positivity, positive mindset is the absolute most important thing that you can do. So find something to do when, especially on your days off, that is going to excite you. So one thing that I did when I was working night shift that I'm not really sure would have been completed if I wasn't working night shifts was I wrote my first book, How to Succeed in Nursing School. And because I had so many hours where I had no one to talk to, I had to stay quiet because the rest of the house was sleeping, I started finding things that I was really passionate about that I always wanted to do. So I always wanted to write a book, and I felt like there needed to be more support for nursing students, and I had done well, so why not share what I had learned? And I got so passionate about this that the hours would just fly by, and even though I was alone, I didn't really feel like I was alone, and I don't know, it just made things just so much better. So what are some things that you've always wanted to do? Have you wanted to start a blog, or write a book, or start an online company? Like, what are some things that you've wanted to do that you've always been passionate about, but you've never really considered yourself to have the time? But now that you're working kind of night shift, and your hours are kind of all fluctuated and your sleep schedule's off, why not during those times that you are awake and that your time is your own, why don't you do something that you're really passionate about that's going to make the world a better place? The next tip also is to make sure you're getting your exercise. Guys, 20 to 30 minutes of cardio 2 to 3 times a week will literally change your mind and body. It has been proven by so many different researchers that exercise literally can increase all kinds of good things going on in your brain, and so just make it a priority to keep your body in tip-top condition. I always love cardio, so make sure you get enough cardio in as well. Also, do not over-consume statistics about how bad night shift is for you, or how bad, staying up all night is. Like, just don't over-consume those statistics. That's just gonna stress you out. There's always exceptions to the rule. I personally have met, especially in the hospital, so many average people that are exceptions to the rule. And so I really think that nurses are pretty much above average, so in intelligence and ability, so don't overconsume the statistics. You'll be fine. Just stay healthy. Do everything else you possibly can to stay healthy. This is a tip that I do just to stay positive in general, but for the first 20 minutes that I'm awake, I put on a really positive audiobook, one that's just going to set the tone for my entire day or your entire night. I've been doing this for years. It really helps me stay grounded. When all kinds of negativity and pressure comes at me, I'm really able to handle it, and usually I'm really able to handle it in a much better way as long as I get that first 20 to 30 minutes of a good audiobook in. So find a book that's going to be really positive. Of course, any books by Rhonda Byrne, who did The Secret, The Magic, The Power. I know that The Secret and The Power are audiobooks, so if you wanted to listen to that, even just 20 minutes, but just wake up with an immense amount of positivity, because it will definitely set your next waking hours. Also, when you are at home, make sure you do some yoga moves to kind of meditate. I love yoga in the simple sense that for me, it's actually not exercise, it's meditation, because I have a very, very difficult time sitting down meditating. But when I get into these yoga poses, it just feels like everything falls into place, and my mind can focus because my body is engaged doing something. So one thing that I would do at work was I would put my bottom up against a wall, and I would literally just fold myself over and stretch. I know it's not exactly a yoga pose, but it's kind of like a half yoga pose in a way. And I would just stretch, and I would just give a lot of thanks for the job that I had, for the patients that I got to serve, for the coworkers. And of course, people will walk in on you on the job and be like, what are you doing? But just do your thing. Do whatever you have to do to stay positive, and your positivity hopefully will have a positive impact on them. And who knows, maybe they'll start doing it too. I really hope that this video helped you. If you guys have any tips, if you work night shift and you have some tips that works for you, please post it in the comments below so that we can help each other out. So, alright guys, if you have any other questions, by the way, please post it below as well so that I can make sure I make a video for you. Alright, I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.